cycle insurance is so important, and why have you decided to get involved with them?
I think it's every rider's obligation to go out on the open roads this day and age. You know, we've all seen it, we've all heard the stories, we all have stories probably virtually every time we go out on the bike about near misses. You wouldn't dare go out in your car, or most of us wouldn't dare go out in a car without being covered. That is a legal obligation. On the bike it's not, but I believe that somewhere along the line in this day and age it needs to be. You need to be covered for yourself and for other people around you. And you know, let's face it, we're walking around, there's an awful lot of expensive equipment out here, and yes, a lot of it is covered on house insurance when it's at home. As soon as you step on it, unless you ride it up and down your driveway, unless you've got specific insurance in your house cover, in your house policy, as soon as you step off your property, it's not covered. And if you damage it, which is, you know, it's quite possible, if somebody damages the bike for you and their insurance covers it, then that's one thing. But if you know, you can go out and you can spend £6,000-7,000 on a bike easy without even trying. So to have that not insured it's a little bit negligent, I think.
There's a lot of talk with the Times campaign about safer cycling and all that. What do you think the government needs to do to improve safety for cyclists, safety on the roads and all that sort of stuff?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think awareness is the biggest issue that we've got, and there seems to be an awful lot of campaigns pro motorbikes, you know, bike aware, but a lot of it seems to be about the motorbikes and signs up, and there's very little with cyclists. You know, they'll put a cycle lane in somewhere. You know, the infrastructure is extremely difficult in the UK, which is the biggest issue. But it is a difficult one, but awareness, it's starting to happen. It's a little bit better, probably coming down from the elite side. You know, from what we've done on the track, now we've transferred it over to the road, and so it's becoming. I still don't believe cycling is mainstream in the UK. I think we're quite away from that, but it's certainly getting better. And to have someone like Cav win Sports Personality of the Year outside of an Olympic year, that's certainly progress. So there's a lot more understanding in the UK. It generally tends to kind of be around the July time when the Tour de France is on. Like as Wimbledon is, when Wimbledon's on, you can't get a tennis court for love nor money. So it tends to be a little bit cyclical in that way. But there's a lot more awareness happening, and the trouble is, it only takes 1%. It only takes that one car when you're out. You can be passed by hundreds, and they're fine. It's just that very small minority, unfortunately. So it is difficult, but it's starting to err towards the cycling, to the cyclist, which is good news.
Before we talk about your career and what you're doing and the Olympics and everything else, so if people want to talk about Veloshore, stand is A29, isn't
29.
it? Which is kind of behind us here, and turn left and walk down the corridor.
Yes,
on the left-hand side.
just over the other side.
Okay.
There's a nice shiny bike for you to look at as well.
Is that one of the bikes that's got your name on it?
Yes, it has, yes.
Okay, so you're going to be there all day?
All day, yes.
Okay, so if you want to talk about insurance, find out why Rob's got involved in that, talk to the team from Veloshore. He'll be with us for the rest of the day to talk about bike insurance.
No obligation quotes. It's just good to go and have a look and just get a bigger picture of what is possible out there and costs and whatever. But I do believe that we owe it to ourselves when we're out. You know, cycling is enjoyable, but unfortunately, along the flip side of that is it can be, you know, pretty damaging in lots of respects. So if you are covered, that really will help.
Okay, so go and talk to him about Veloshore. He'll be here the rest of the day. Should we turn our attention to thoughts on cycling right now? We've just come out of the World Championships, the World Track Championships. You were there with Radio 5 with Simon Brotherton, commentating down in Melbourne. you get to go to actually enjoy the cities now that you're going to, rather than just being inside a track.
Yeah, I'd raced in Melbourne twice before, Worlds in 2004 and then Commonwealth Games in 06. Never had time to see the city. I rode through the city once on the way back from a training ride, full GB kit, riding through, looking in all the coffee shops. Shane Sutton, Dave Brailsford walking along. Get back to the hotel, and that was it. That was my view. And the only other time was I actually crashed in the wet on the railway lines, on the tram lines. That was for Commonwealth Games. So yeah, to go to the city and be able to watch the best track racing in the world, talk about it, and be able to go and drink coffee and look at the sights. And it was all 30 degrees. And there were 18 cars abandoned in my village that week through the snowdrift, so I wasn't missing much at home.
So tell me what it's been like. You retired last year, well, the end of last year, and you've now gone immediately from being a pro bike rider on that mill of World Championships, Olympic Games, road races all the time, to sitting there with a screen and talking about it. So what is life like on the other side? For you've seen the bike rider side. What is life like as a broadcaster?
It's different. It's a steep learning curve. I can watch and I can see what's going on in a bike race, and I can understand that. What I struggle with is telling other people exactly what I'm seeing and what I understand. That's something that I have struggled with over the first part of what I was doing. I think I'm getting a little bit better at it. If I'm not, I'm sure you'll tell me. I hope you'll tell me. And let's face it, if you don't like listening to me talk about it, there's several other channels now, because cycling is getting quite good. But the best option really is to watch BBC and turn the volume down and put Radio 5 on, because then you'll get the best commentary and you'll get the visuals as well.
It's Hugh Porter in the room. You won't be popular saying that. Anyway, because you're looking at exactly the same feed and pictures that everyone else looks at.
One thing I will say is it's not as easy as you think. To sit at home watching the racing and be able to comment on little bits and pieces is fine. But you try and do what this poor gentleman did at the Road Worlds this year. He was in his position from 8 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, and have to talk sense all the way through. Well, that's something completely different.
Yeah, it's a bit different. It's good fun though. It's good fun getting paid to talk about bike racing. It's not too bad, is it? Okay, talk about the Worlds then. So we went into the Worlds. Everyone said Australia would kick us, and that would be it. Home
turf.
Yeah, home turf. They'd thrash us. They'd dent our morale for the Olympic Games. What's your summary coming out of Melbourne and looking at the British performance? Is it a good thing that Britain performed so well, or is that going to be negative when it comes to the Aussies coming over here to London to get one over on us in the Olympics?
Are there any children in the house? I think, there are. I think to sum it up, we basically pulled their pants down in their own back garden, which is nice. No, we knew that off the back of the test event, was it 8 weeks ago now, on the London Velodrome, we knew that in pretty much every Olympic discipline we were in the ballpark, and with what between now and the Olympics, we're not too far away. But to then go to the Worlds in Australia and do what the guys did was really good. It hurt. And one of the nice things, being able to sit back and watch it and read the press and do little bits of homework, because I do the odd little bit of homework before I go in and do some.
Do you do
some
stuff?
A little bit of research. A little bit of research.
Yeah.
But it was nice to actually read some of the Australian comments. In the Bobridge one, and he said that was a real kick in the guts. That really hurt. Whereas what we've done especially off the back of Beijing, is we've put a positive spin on everything. Oh, it's all about London. It's all about London, which it is. Unfortunately, the timing's right from the World Cup and the Worlds now, that it looks like everything is going to be hunky dory in London. But we've always put this positive spin. And I think Dan Hunt's one of the only ones who, you know, he was disappointed after the World Cup when they lost to the Australians. But to have the Aussies say no, that was a real big kick and a real shot across the bows is good news.